Okay. Good morning, everybody. This is Yoster again and Professor Gonzalez, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do a read aloud because the last time I did a shared reading, and we're just going to read from this book, Sea Monsters, which I realize is backward to me, but it's actually it's the right way to you guys, so I'm not going to make that silly mistake again. And the author is Mary Pope Osborne and Natalie Pope Boyce. Now, first of all, before we start, Yosker is going to tell me, what is a read aloud?
A read aloud is when, like, a teacher reads to a student and the student has to listen.
Listen, and then what's going to happen later? What do you think I'm going to do after I do the read aloud?
I have to write an essay.
Well, before we write, though, what do we do? What are we going to
A talk.
We're going to talk about what?
The main idea, what was the book about.
Okay, good. And different details like that, right? Okay, so let's do the read aloud. It's just be a few pages, okay? And then I'll ask you a couple of questions. Okay, so this is actually chapter 2 because you've already read chapter 1, all right? So, chapter 2, Exploring the Oceans. In December 1872, a ship called the Challenger sailed from Britain. It was starting a long 3-year voyage. The ship carried a group of scientists. They planned to do the first large study of the ocean. They wanted to see if there was life in the deep sea. At that time, many people did not believe there was. So can you tell me why do you think people didn't believe that there was any life in the sea? How come? Any idea?
Because some animals live deep in the sea where it's dark and where there's no light.
And because of that, because there's no light,
Yeah.
It's difficult to what?
To see.
To see. So that's why, and also, people weren't. I think maybe possibly it was because it was far away and they didn't have the right equipment, right? You know, to be able to see it. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so let me keep reading. 2 men were in charge of the trip. One was a scientist named Charles Thompson, okay? The other was Captain George Strong Nares, a naval officer who was an expert in map making. Can you explain to me, what do you think map making means? What do you think map making?
I think it means a person that makes maps.
Makes maps, okay? What do you need a map for? What do people need maps for?
People need maps for maybe if they lost.
Okay, we're just going to keep going.
If they have a map and they lost, they can see the way how to get and like where they want to go.
Okay, good. So that's a very good explanation, actually, very good. So the men turned the ship in. So let's continue. The men turned. So one of the people that were on the ship traveling was a map maker. So it seems to me that he probably, as they traveled, he was going to make a map of where they were going, so people could come back to it. I'm going to skip ahead because I wanted to ask you something. Let's go to a part that talks about deep water exploration. In 1934, Dr. William Beebe was the first person to dive deep into the sea. He went down 3,000 feet in a vessel called a bathysphere. Can you say bathysphere?
Bathysphere.
Bathysphere.
Sphere.
Good.
Bathysphere.
That's a hard word. And so he went down 3,000 feet in a vessel called a bathysphere, which was it had a strong cable on top of it, and it lowered this bathysphere, which is this big round metal ball with him inside, and it was airtight so he could breathe. And he went all the way down, and he took a lot of pictures of many different what? What do you think he saw down there?
Creatures.
Creatures? What kind of creatures?
Like fish and like some crab.
Yeah, go ahead.
Crabs.
Crab. But let me ask you a question. You showed me some pictures in your art, and you drew something. And what was that thing that you drew that I think it could be a deep water creature? What was that thing?
Squid.
A squid, yeah. That there could be very giant squids down there, right? Okay. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to ask you a question. So, when these people come back home, what do you think they're going to do with these drawings that they made of the creatures under the sea? What do you think they're going to do?
I think they're gonna show it to the people that didn't believe that there was no creatures in the sea.
And then what is that going to help? What is that going to help do?
Everybody's gonna believe that there's creatures in the sea.
Good. And so, and that is the way that scientists work. That they explore
New things
and keep going. What else do they do?
and figure out new animals,
Where the animals are, how they survive,
how they live.
how they live, and then
What
they
they
show other people this information, right? Okay, that's what science is. Good, very good. You can shut it off. Thank you so much.